Halo mitakuyepi. Hello everyone, and welcome to the question answer video number 4. I'm gonna answer a question from the YouTube account name says Gene Archie 1933. And the question is, why do Lakota and men from other tribes keep their hair so long? Thanks, Dave. Good question. Hair has something called tone, and it's not just men. Should be women too. It's not just men. I have to explain something called tone. Tone is the essence of our soul. It comes out in the palms of our hands, and it also in the soles of our feet. I'm not gonna put my feet on the screen because I can't bend like that. I knocked the camera over and when you do something, when you make something with your hands, for example, whether it's food or you're making woodwork or writing a song or prayer or poem, it's coming from within you and it goes into whatever it is that you're creating. And this thing that goes in whatever it is you're making, that thing is called tone. It's coming from your soul and it goes into that object. So let's say, for example, you're making food. You're preparing it with your hands. It's really important that you think in a way of peace or love, that you do it lovingly because something of you is going through your hands and it's going into the food that you're preparing. And so when you give it to somebody, you're doing it with love. Yeah? Your tone is in there. This is how we can share love with each other as well. I think that's really cool. It's in our clothes too. Yeah? Our tone is in our clothes. And we have to be careful sometimes because, let's say, for example, I traveled to China and I accidentally leave this shirt in the hotel room. And I come back to Germany, and then all of a sudden, I start doing weird things and I get sick. What could explain that is that, see, my toe was still in the shirt. It's still connected to me. Okay? So let's say my shirt somehow ended up in a very unhealthy situation at the hotel in China. Okay? And some unhealthy energy got on my shirt. You see, I'm halfway on the other side of the world, all the way on the other side, I should say, of the world, but it still made me sick. The two is connected. I'm still connected to it. That's why if you want to give away clothes to the Red Cross, burn some sage first. Get your toe out of there. Because you never know where that's going to end up. Yeah? Sometimes when I buy a used guitar, like on eBay, that's what I do. Yeah, I burn some sage and I get the tone out of there from the previous owner. Then I start playing it, yeah, a lot because I'm putting my tone into that guitar now. Yeah, and this is tone. Well, the tone is also in your hair. Yeah, it's in hair. Fingernails are hair too, and so are toenails. And this is really special then, yeah, because the tone is in your hair. So this is why we grow it long. And the only time we cut our hair is when somebody near and dear to us has passed on. Maybe it's your parent, your partner, or your best friend, or somebody really special to you. And the custom is you take half, yeah, so I go like this, take half of my hair, like that, get a scissor or a knife and cut it off. So just half is long. This is a sign of mourning. That's when you show the people that you are in mourning. Today, people really bastardize this tradition, yeah? Today, people will go to the friseur, yeah, that's the hairdresser, and then they'll say, "Yeah, cut my hair really short. I want to look like Lady Di because I'm in mourning." They have all their hair cut short and have a nice looking hairstyle because they're in mourning. That's not the tradition. It's half. Yeah, you cut half off because so when people see you and they see that half of your hair is long, one side's long, the other side's short, they know you're in mourning. And then there's protocols for that. Yeah, you don't joke with people like that. People who are in mourning are not supposed to be attending events where there's a lot of people. So you shouldn't be going to powwows. You're not supposed to be doing ceremonies. You're not supposed to be going to dances, movies. Yeah, you can be with a group of people, but not really big crowds. And you have to be careful concerning using knife. There's all kinds of traditions like that when somebody's in mourning. Yeah, but today people don't observe that like they used to. Like I said, they'll go to a beautician and they say, "Give me a short hairstyle," because I'm in mourning. It's just dumb. Because that's not the tradition. You're just showing that you have short hair, but it doesn't show that you're in mourning. To mourn, that symbol is half, not all. Okay? So when you go to ceremonies, like for example, I went to a Sundance. I was really disappointed because most of the dancers had really short hair. A lot of them were gang members. They had their gang tattoo on their head, they're bald headed. They came out of the circle at the end of the day, shouting like like they just completed a endurance test. It was all macho, full of macho, and none of these people could speak Lakota. That's important concerning the Sundance ceremony. Lakota. This is a holy of holies ceremony, and the ancestors are there. Lakota or Dakota or Nakota should be spoken during that time. And none of these dancers could speak Lakota, and I knew them personally. I was really upset about that. When you cut your hair willingly for no special reason, it's like you are wishing for somebody to die. You want somebody to die when you do that. That's from the Lakota perspective. That's why long hair is not a fashion statement. Yeah, it's a statement of life. And death is really a birth. But it represents our grieving. Yeah, when we cut half of it off, it's because we are grieving. So that's why, yeah, the hair is really important. And when the children on the reservation back in the late 1800s and early 1900s, when they were sent to the boarding schools by force, that's one of the first things that happened to them. The teachers cut their hair off. And the children were traumatized by that because they thought everybody where they're coming from must be dead. And in many instances, that's what the priests said, because priests were leaders of a lot of these schools. They would say, "Yeah, everybody in your family is dead, so you have no home. This is your home now." They did this to break the children. It was pretty effective. Yeah, it was pretty effective. So It's not a fashion statement. It's not to look cool. It is a representation of life, connection to everything, respect to everything, including ourselves. It represents healthy living. So this is why we grow our hair long. And sometimes we might get a little too wild one night and wake up in the doghouse, and next thing you know, we have all kinds of fleas. Yeah. Then we might have to cut our hair. But you did it to yourself. I'm just joking. No, you take care of your hair. Yeah, because it's really, it's there's two in it. It's coming from within you. Yeah, it's in your hair, so it's really, you have to be really careful how you handle your hair. Yeah, love your hair, take care of it. I know some of us, our hair thins out as we get older. Some people get bald. You can't help that. It's okay. Yeah, even if you have two, three hairs hanging in there like Homer Simpson, they're still important. Yeah, keep it long. Seriously. Yeah. So it's not just men, it's women too. Yeah. So good question. Yeah. Really good. And I'm going to answer one more question, okay? This one's from Geeky Femme. It says, do you have any favorite modern bands, musicians lately that you're really into? I know you like playing guitar. Are there any new instruments or sounds you are experimenting with in your own musicianship writing? Nice question. Yeah, I like that, from asking about my musical side of my life, because I'm a musician first. Yeah. Well, I'm a human first. Then I'm a musician. Then I'm Lakota. I'm not an Indian musician. I really don't like that term. Yeah. Because it's like when people think that, okay, I'm an Indian, so I should have long hair and I should only do heya heya music. I started my musical life when I was 8 years old, and maybe even younger. My mom recognized that in me, and so I was able to be in the right place at the right time, to have a music teacher that took me under her wing and taught me things. She recognized that I was musical, and so I was classically trained at a very young age, so I can play piano and some other instruments. And when I was in high school, I used to switch instruments, and the music teacher let me say, "Okay, David, what do you want to play this week?" "Well, I want to play the trombone." So I'd be doing the trombone. It was a cool instrument, baritone, different instruments, and it was fun. It's easy for me to learn another instrument, and I'm thankful for that. I don't brag about it. Yeah, I'm really thankful for that, and I make the best out of that, and to enjoy and also play it for people. If they enjoy it, good. If they don't, that's okay too. Yeah, because I like what I do. As far as favorite modern bands, musicians, I don't know too much of the recent bands coming from America, because I live in Germany. Um, wow, I am more into the certain 80s bands, yeah, all kinds of styles, like from Van Halen to some of the pop music and orchestral maneuvers in the dark, and that 80s new wave kind of thing, Blondie. And I like music from all styles, really. It's the song that I like, not the style. Okay, there's good songs in every style, except rap. Anybody can talk, but it takes a real talent to learn an instrument. Yeah, that's courage to learn an instrument. It's my opinion, okay? You can disagree with me. That's okay. So as far as modern bands and musicians, well, I'll tell you my influences, okay? When I was a little boy, I'm thinking here, what was the first thing that I saw? Gosh, I don't know. I know one time I climbed the roof of our house one time and I took some pots and pans up there and I was on the roof of the house and I had a metal something and I was banging on them and to me it was music, yeah? Ding, 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 ding. It was like, ding, 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 ding. Then people were like, shut up! But I'm playing music. This is a good song. To me, it was. Oh, shoot. And looking at music books, I couldn't read music yet. Maybe I was 3 years old. I couldn't read music yet, but I was looking at that and was like, okay. When they sing up, the note goes up. And when they sing down, it goes down. And, and of course, as I got into classical training, I learned how to read music. And I think it was, gosh, I don't know. Because I know when I was about 4 or 5 years old, my mother had this record player and she let me listen to some records and there was like Buddy Holly, there was he was singing a song called Brown Eyed Handsome Man, which I think is written by Chuck Berry, not sure. And there was an Elvis record, Mess of Blues, I think it was called, and Chubby Chucker, I think, or no. But lots of, bands from that time. And I just loved it, yeah, playing this music. And those were my first influences, I think, early influences. And then on Sunday evenings was this TV show called The Ed Sullivan Show. On the reservation, we only got one channel on TV. So I think it was CBS, I'm not sure. And Ed Sullivan came on, and then there was some bands on there. And can't remember. But I seen the Beatles someplace on TV. And I thought, wow, this is cool, yeah? The song was I Want to Hold Your Hand. Just one of the best songs I thought ever. And so I managed to get their records. Meet the Beatles, I think it was, and one was called Revolver. I love those records. And then one time my mom said, David, come watch TV. Look, there's some kids and they're in a band and they're playing on TV. So I went over, ran in the living room and then I was like, wow, that's so cool, these little kids. Because on TV, you always see adults. Yeah, and here they're kids. And I was like, wow, that never occurred to me that kids could be a band. That was the Jackson 5. Yeah, it was so cool. And then when my mother went to a workshop one time out of state, and she came back and she brought me this record and she put it on a stereo and she said, David, listen to this. And so I was listening and said, wow, that's what I want to do. I said, I think I was 6 years old or something like that. It was Chuck Berry. See, my mother was a preschool teacher, and she wanted the Indian kids and the white kids to play together to see, that, yeah, we're different color, but we like the same things and, things like that. And thanks to her, 3 generations of people grew up learning to respect each other. And she always said things like, look at this band, or look at this, listen to this guy. She never said, look, there's some black kids on TV, or listen to this black guitar player. She never said it like that. Yeah? She just said, listen to this guitar player. So I learned from her though how to look at people not as skin colors, but to take the time to check them out because they might be a good friend or not. You never know until you check it out. So I learned that from her. And that's why that plays a huge role in how I see myself. I don't see myself as a native musician. I see myself as a musician. Yeah. Because I think a lot of people like to stereotype when you hear things like artist. It's a, oh yeah, so and so is an Indian artist. So you people expect them to only paint Indian things. And maybe they don't want to paint Indian things. Maybe they want to just paint trees and life, you know? But just because they're Indian, they have to paint teepees and buffalo and horses and feathers and wolves. You see what I mean? That's stereotyping. And I don't like that. So because I was classically trained, I lean more to music like that. So if you've heard some of my music, I don't sound like an Indian. I'm not trying to sound like an Indian. I'm trying to sound like me, David, the human. Yeah? So that's why I just wanted to say that. It's I know that's not part of the question. I just wanted to add that in there. But as far as modern musicians today, gosh, I don't know. Because I don't listen to so much music from new bands today. Yeah, I really have to think hard. Because usually I'm listening to 1970s music on internet radio, plug it in through the stereo system, or buy CDs from people in the past. Prince is a big influence. Led Zeppelin is a big influence on me. Boston, Mutt Lange, the music producer, is a big influence. Shania Twain is a big influence on me. Lots of old time country music is a really big influence on me. Buck Owens, Johnny Cash, those are really big influences on my life. So you can see it's different styles of music. In Germany, there's a band here called BB and the Blue Shacks. Cool band, yeah. I like to call them my friends, and went to several of their concerts, and I have pictures of me with them, and they're one of the best blues bands in Europe. And they travel all over the world. This a few months ago they were in California, and it's really a good band. And I really like their music, and it's a German band, but they don't sing in German. Yeah, it's they're musicians. They see themselves as musicians, not German musicians. You see what I mean? There's a singer here in Germany who does sing in German, and the song was called Sie immer lacht. She's always smiling, and it's a cool song. It's I'll put a link to that song. I really would like you guys to listen to that song. Okay, I'll put a link to that below. It's a really pretty song, and her songs are about acceptance of everybody. That love includes everybody. Like it's kind of reflecting a view that's very similar to Lakota view. See, in our culture, years ago, before reservation time, we have 7 genders. We have your male and female, that's 2. And then you have your male body with a female mind. Yeah, it's like transgender. And then we have a female body with the male mind. So that's another transgender. So that's 4. Then we have a male body with both the male and female mind. Yeah, that's 5 so far. Then we have the female body with, again, both the male and female perspective. And Then we have those who the physical body is both male and female. They have both parts. These are hermaphrodites. That's what they call them in English. And so physically, they're both male and female. And inside, they're both male and female too. Yeah? This is the 7 genders. So this is normal in the Lakota world. Okay? That's normal. And some of these people were healers. These ones that have both the male and female perspective. Sometimes they were healers. Now today there's a misunderstanding, a false belief. Yeah, when somebody says that they're gay or lesbian, I'm a healer, they'll say, no, you're not. Some of them could be, but not all of them. It's just like some of us heterosexuals are healers and some are not. That same concept applies to them too. Okay? So they're not all healers, okay? Because I know some people say that. I read that on certain accounts on Facebook and I had to laugh. That's not true. So just some of them are, okay? But the ones that have the male and female perspective, see, they see both sides. Yeah? When it's a man, this is winkte. Yeah? Win is short for wian. Kte is like to become. So it's like becoming a woman. Yeah? That's what the word means. But what it's saying is it has 2 perspectives. For women, that same thing, they go by 2 names. Okay? One is wichakte. Wicha is short for wichasha. And the other word is blokakte. Bloka is like a bull, a male, like a buffalo or whatever. So it's like becoming that. And some people really get that wrong too. Yeah, they'll say winkte means to kill the woman. Because the word kte has 2 definitions. It means to kill, and it's also the future tense. When you want to make a word future tense, you put kte at the end of it. So, but it does not mean to kill a woman, okay? It doesn't mean that. So if somebody tells you that, they don't know what this is, okay? That's a sign. So these are the 7 genders, and this was normal in our culture. And when we came to the reservations, like I said in many videos, the healers were all sent to a mental institution in Canton, South Dakota to die. And so the Lakota people and all Native people had nowhere to go for spiritual assistance or help. And we started to go to church because it gave us the opportunity to see each other, because in those days we lived apart. Yeah. Anciently, we all lived together in camp circles, but when we came on the reservation, they separated us. Yeah. And then Sunday was an opportunity where we could come together. So we looked forward to coming together. And that's so we went to church to see each other. Then we start listening to the preacher, what he was saying. Now, at that time, we were not allowed to speak our language. We were not allowed to do our ceremonies. And we were given unhealthy food from the American government. See, we were not allowed to leave the reservation in those days. So we did not have access to the healthy foods that our bodies are used to after thousands and thousands of generations. So we are now eating unhealthy foods, and it's doing something to us. Remember, everything is connected. Body, mind, heart, and soul. It's all connected. So we're eating unhealthy food, we're getting physically sick. We can't speak our language, we're getting emotionally sick. We can't do our ceremonies, we're getting spiritually sick. So we became weak-minded. Yeah, because the mind is part of that too. Everything is connected. If one goes down, the others will get sick too. That's why we became weak-minded and start listening to the preachers, and we became Christian. So now today, most Indian people judge gay people as less than. Yeah, they make fun of them. They really look down on them. And then they go Sundance. You see the bullshit? Yeah? We don't follow our ways like our ancestors did. Yeah? So this singer, her name is Kirsten Ott. She sings songs to try to influence people to, hey, these are normal people. And what she's basically singing is, or I should say, where she's singing from, her perspective, is basically the same thing as our ancestors. That's why I like her songs, and her lyrics are really smart. I know they're in German, but they're really smart lyrics. Yeah. So I want to put a song in the description and take a listen. Yeah, it's a simple song. It's nice, pretty, and I like it. Yeah, it's a nice song. So thank you for the questions. And in the Lakota way, we don't have a word for goodbye because everything is in a circle. There's no beginning, no end. And so instead we say, until next time, which in Lakota is Doksha Ake. And I'll catch you in the next video.